Welcome to Health Freedom Radio with Jessica Steele and Jordan Fisher. Whole health conversations to elevate your life, your health, your wealth, and your legacy. Learn with us, then share with others.
Are you constantly chasing symptoms? I mean, you probably know the feeling intimately, right?
Oh, definitely. We all do.
Yeah, like it's 2 PM, the brain fog rolls in, so you're reaching for some massive energy fix just to keep your eyes open.
Right, just to get through the day.
Exactly. And then it's 10 at night, your mind is racing, your body is restless, so you're reaching for a sleep aid to force yourself to shut down.
You're manually overriding the system.
Yeah. And then you wake up stiff and aching. So you grab a joint remedy just to get out of bed. It becomes this endless, exhausting loop of basically patching holes in a sinking ship.
It really does. And, we've been conditioned over decades to treat the human body like a mechanical machine.
Like a car or something.
Exactly. Like if a part squeaks, you oil it. If a warning light flashes on the dashboard, you cut the wire to the light.
Right. Out of sight, out of mind.
Right. Or if a part breaks, you try to artificially replace it or, suppress the pain it causes. But that entire paradigm might be fundamentally backwards.
Completely backwards.
Yeah. What if instead of treating the body as a machine with broken, isolated parts, we started treating it as a living, breathing ecosystem?
Let's unpack this, because that concept right there is the exact foundation of what we're getting into today. Welcome to this deep dive, everyone.
It's great to be here.
Our mission today is to explore a real paradigm-shifting approach to self-health. We're talking about a true health blueprint that can honestly help you build a profoundly better life, better health, real wealth, and a lasting legacy.
And we're pulling the architecture for this discussion from one incredibly comprehensive primary source document.
Right. Let's name that right up front.
It's called Foundations of Terrain Nutrition. This is a clinician's guide that was compiled and produced by Dr. Jolie Phillips, and it was created in support of the whole health worldwide community.
Which is an absolutely massive resource, by the way. But what really stands out to me is that it functions as this intelligent audio program for we the people of the world.
Yeah, it really is for everyone.
It offers this vital, life-altering education without any of the, pressure or marketing hype you usually see. It's just pure grounded knowledge.
This deep dive really fills a severely neglected gap in our modern understanding. I mean, it bridges the ancient wisdom of traditional natural health systems with practitioner observation, lived human experience, and, actual frontier science.
So no fads.
No fads at all. It doesn't rely on trends. It lets the biological claims stand entirely on their own merit.
So to really understand this blueprint, I feel like we first have to actively unlearn that machine model of health we just talked about.
Absolutely.
We have to embrace what the guide calls the terrain model. So what exactly is the terrain code?
Well, terrain nutrition operates on a very simple, undeniable biological premise, which is the human body responds to its conditions.
Okay, what kind of conditions?
Well, your cellular hydration, your mineral reserves, the specific phytochemicals in the plants you eat, even the emotional and environmental stress you carry. All of these factors create an internal climate. So in the terrain model, a symptom is never actually the problem.
It's just a signal.
Exactly. A symptom is a dashboard warning light. It's a physiological signal that your internal environment, your terrain, is burdened, depleted, or just completely dysregulated.
It makes me think of a dying houseplant. Like if you have a plant on your windowsill and the leaves are turning all brown and crispy and wilting.
Yeah.
The modern mechanical approach to medicine is basically taking a can of green spray paint, painting those dying leaves green, and then, declaring the plant cured.
Right. Look, it's green again.
Yeah. But you haven't watered the roots. You haven't changed the soil. You've literally just masked the distress signal.
And honestly, by painting the leaves, you've actually clogged the plant's pores. So you're further suffocating it.
Oh, wow. Yeah. That makes it even worse.
Exactly. You're actively suppressing the signal while the actual biological root cause just continues to degrade.
That is so true.
So true health is far more than just the temporary absence of disease or, silencing symptoms.
Right.
True health is about cultivating an internal environment that restores the energy, the dreams, and the possibilities of the person living inside that body. When your terrain is healthy and robust, you actually have the biological capacity to fully live your life.
So if true health is about the soil, like in our plant analogy, how do we actually fix our internal soil?
Well, the Foundations of Terrain Nutrition outlines a very specific, non-negotiable biological sequence for this.
Okay.
It establishes what it calls the core base architecture, and biology dictates that we have to start by cleansing the terrain.
Cleanse. Not clear, but cleanse.
Right, cleanse. The body absolutely must eliminate accumulated waste before it can do anything else.
Make space first.
Think about it, right? If your digestive and elimination channels are sluggish or burdened, you literally cannot efficiently absorb new, high-quality nutrients.
Makes sense.
So the guide focuses heavily on botanical drainage. It mentions specific plant interventions like Cascara sagrada.
Okay, but how does something like Cascara sagrada actually change the environment? I mean, we hear the word drainage a lot in wellness circles, but what is physically happening in the body?
Well, Cascara sagrada contains compounds that gently stimulate the smooth muscle contractions in the intestines. So it supports gut motility and regularity.
Okay, keeping things moving.
But you can't just stimulate the gut. You always have to look upstream.
Upstream to the liver.
Exactly. The guide pairs this with milk thistle and dandelion to support liver-gut flow. See, the liver's job is to process toxins and then package them into bile.
Right.
That bile is then sent down into the gut, and the bowel eliminates it.
So if the bowel isn't moving efficiently,
Right.
all those toxins, the liver just works so hard to package up, they just get trapped in the digestive tract.
They don't just get trapped, unfortunately. They actually get reabsorbed.
Oh, gross.
Yeah, it's a process called enterohepatic circulation. If that elimination pathway is backed up, your body just continuously recycles its own waste back into the bloodstream. So cleansing physically opens these channels so the body can stop recycling garbage and actually receive what comes next.
Which naturally leads us to the second pillar of the foundation, which is balance.
Yes, balance.
The text introduces a botanical formulation called Go Yin. But again, if we've cleansed the waste out, why can't we just start throwing vitamins at the body? Like, why do we need to balance anything first?
Because of the nervous system.
Yeah.
You cannot absorb and utilize nutrients efficiently if your nervous system is trapped in chronic fight-or-flight stress.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, when you're stressed, your sympathetic nervous system diverts blood flow away from your digestive tract.
Right. Pushes it out to your arms and legs.
Exactly, out to your skeletal muscles so you can run from a perceived threat. You could eat the healthiest, most nutrient-dense meal on Earth, but if your body thinks it's running from a tiger, your digestive terrain is essentially shut down.
So the nutrients just pass right through without being utilized at all.
Precisely. You just make really expensive urine. So Go Yin provides the regulatory intelligence to stop that response. It draws on traditional Chinese medicine tonics and a class of herbs called adaptogens.
Adaptogens, right?
Adaptogens work by interacting with the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis.
The HPA axis.
Right, that's the communication line between your brain and your adrenal glands. They physically help regulate cortisol levels, steadying the terrain, and basically bringing your nervous system back to a state of calm, focused regulation.
Okay, so we've cleansed the recycled waste, and we've calmed the nervous system down so the gut can actually absorb things.
Right.
So step 3 is build. And this is where a broad spectrum formulation called daily build comes in.
Yes. Now that the terrain is open and actually receptive, it desperately needs raw materials to repair itself.
Okay.
So Daily Build provides those broad-spectrum vitamins, trace elements, and amino acids. But the key here isn't just the sheer volume of vitamins.
What is it then?
It's the biological usability. For instance, the guide emphasizes the use of methylation-relevant B vitamins.
Let's pause there for a second. Because methylation is one of those clinical terms that gets thrown around constantly on the internet.
Oh, absolutely.
What is methylation like in plain English?
Sure. Think of methylation as the body's system of chemical traffic lights.
Okay.
It's a biochemical process where a tiny molecule, a methyl group, is passed around to different proteins and DNA.
Right.
And this process turns genetic expressions on and off, it produces neurotransmitters, and it detoxifies chemicals.
Wow, so it does a lot.
Everything. But if your B vitamins aren't in a pre-methylated, biologically active form, a huge percentage of the population literally can't even use them.
Wait, really?
Yeah. So Daily Build provides these nutrients in a language the body instantly recognizes, laying down those fundamental nutrient bricks for your cellular foundation.
Okay, but wait, I'm looking at this core sequence. Cleanse, balance, build, and I have to push back here a little bit.
Okay, go for it.
You're telling me I need to cleanse my liver, calm my stress, and fix my chemical traffic lights. But when most people start a health journey, they just want to stop feeling so exhausted.
Right, they want energy.
Yeah. Why isn't energy in this base layer? How does fixing my gut have anything to do with me needing a nap at 2 p.m.?
It's a great question. And honestly, reaching for a stimulant first is the most common and arguably the most destructive mistake people make.
Really?
Yes, because the final foundational step, the fourth pillar of the core base, is mineralize. The guide introduces a formulation called calcium K+.
Mineralize before energy.
Exactly. Before you can ever demand performance or energy from your body, you absolutely must provide structural and electrical stability.
Electrical stability.
Yeah.
We're talking about the nervous system again.
We're talking about how every single cell in your body communicates. Calcium K+ provides calcium, sure, but calcium alone is practically useless without its specific cofactors.
Like what?
It requires magnesium, vitamin D3, vitamin K2, and boron. Here is the actual mechanism. Your nerves use positively charged mineral ions, like calcium and magnesium, to fire electrical signals. Your muscles require calcium to contract, and they require magnesium to relax.
So if you don't have those minerals, your electrical grid is essentially like browning out.
That is exactly the biological reality. These minerals dictate how your heart maintains rhythm, how your brain fires, and how deeply you sleep.
Wow.
So if you artificially push your body for energy using caffeine or sugar while your mineral reserves are depleted,
You're just crashing it.
you're extracting from an empty bank account.
Yeah.
You are forcing the nervous system to fire without the raw materials it actually needs to recover.
Right.
So energy without minerals leads straight to profound systemic burnout.
That completely reframes the entire concept of fatigue for me.
does it.
Yeah. You literally have to earn the biological right to ask your body for energy by giving it minerals first. So that's the complete foundation. Cleanse, balance, build, and mineralize.
Right. And once that deep foundation is set, and only then, we can safely ask the body to perform and expand its capabilities.
Okay, now we're talking.
Which brings us to the next phase of the blueprint, building capacity. The guide calls this Core Plus.
Okay, so this directly answers my earlier frustration about wanting an energy boost.
Exactly.
The Core Plus tier is built as a triad, right? Perform, recover, and feed. Let's start with perform. The source introduces a product called Focus with Energy. How does this provide energy without causing that mineral burnout we just talked about?
Well, by providing clean biological substrate rather than just artificial stimulation.
Okay.
See, a standard energy drink forces your adrenal glands to basically squeeze out stress hormones, which spikes your blood sugar and leads to that inevitable crash we all know.
Right, the 3 p.m. wall.
Exactly. But Focus with Energy uses a specific matrix of B vitamins, amino acids, and adaptogens alongside natural caffeine from sources like guarana.
And no sugar.
Yeah.
Right.
Crucially, zero added sugar. It feeds the brain the exact chemical precursors it needs to actually generate sustained cognitive focus, rather than just whipping an exhausted horse.
I love that analogy.
Ah.
But if you're going to push the body to perform, you inevitably create wear and tear, right?
Right. Performance requires recovery.
So step 2 of this triad is recover, utilizing organic sulfur. Why is it biologically necessary for recovery?
Well, sulfur is actually the third most abundant mineral in the human body.
Really? I had no idea.
Yes, yet our modern over-farmed soils are almost completely devoid of it. The formulation recommended here is 99.9% pure MSM.
Okay, and what does that do?
Biologically, sulfur bonds are what hold your connective tissues, your fascia, your skin, and your joint cartilage together. They literally give your tissues flexibility and resilience.
So when we exercise or, just go about our day, we're creating micro tears in that fascia.
Yes. Daily movement creates micro damage. Performance without structural recovery is just cellular extraction. So organic sulfur provides the specific raw elemental material your body requires to actually repair those structural bonds overnight.
Okay, so we're performing cleanly, we're recovering structurally. The final piece of the Core Plus triad is feed.
Feed, yes.
The guide introduces Mila. And this isn't a pill or a powder, right? It's a functional food.
Exactly.
It's organic, micro-sliced chia seed.
Mm.
But why micro-sliced? Like, if I want chia, why can't I just buy a bag of whole chia seeds at the grocery store?
Well, whole chia seeds have an incredibly hard outer shell.
Right.
If you eat them whole, many of them pass completely undigested right through your gastrointestinal tract.
Oh, so you get nothing out of them.
Basically nothing, but the micro-slicing process physically opens the seed without degrading the fragile oils inside.
Got it.
This makes the plant-based omega-3 fatty acids incredibly bioavailable. But even more importantly, it provides a real food matrix.
A food matrix, meaning like the actual physical structure of the food.
Yes. Your gut terrain needs physical structure. It needs dietary fiber and the specific gel-forming viscosity that microsliced chia creates when it hydrates.
Oh, like when it gets all gummy in water.
Right, that gelatinous matrix.
Yeah.
That slows down digestion, it stabilizes blood sugar, and it provides a physical environment for your beneficial gut bacteria to actually thrive.
So it's a home for them.
Exactly. Isolated vitamin powders simply cannot mimic the biological complexity of a real food matrix.
You know, if we stick with our ecosystem theme from earlier,
Let's do it.
the core base established our rich soil, cleansed the waterways, and stabilized the environment.
Right.
And then the core plus triad focus with energy, organic sulfur, and Mila is kind of like introducing vibrant sunlight, strong structural root systems, and dense, nutrient-rich compost to make the garden flourish.
That's beautifully put. The architecture is incredibly intentional. The base secures survival, while the plus tier builds the capacity to actually thrive.
But, you know, the blueprint doesn't stop there. We've built this incredibly robust internal ecosystem, but the guide asks a really critical question. What is the modern, industrialized diet still profoundly missing?
And the answer is the deep, ancient intelligence of diverse plant life.
Right. Which brings us to the final tier, Core Complete.
Core Complete introduces botanical languages. See, the modern diet is biologically monotonous.
It really is.
Most people eat the exact same 5 or 6 heavily cultivated plants every single week. We are starved for phytochemical diversity.
So true.
So the guide introduces 4 distinct botanical languages through 4 specific superfruits. We need to stop thinking of these simply as generic antioxidants and start recognizing them as specific chemical information for our cells.
Okay, let's translate those languages then. First up is acai.
Acai brings the language of deep, dark purple pigments and unique fruit fats, and it utilizes both the skin and the pulp of the Amazonian berry.
Okay.
This specific plant intelligence speaks directly to your vascular system and your cellular redox terrain.
Let's break down redox terrain for a second. What does that mean?
Sure. Redox is simply the biological balance between rusting and repairing.
Rusting and repairing. Okay.
Yeah. Every time your cells produce energy, they create oxidative exhaust. Think of it like a car engine creating smog.
Right.
If that exhaust builds up, your cells essentially begin to rust. The dark pigments in acai provide the specific chemical electrons needed to neutralize that exhaust, basically shifting the terrain from a state of rusting back to a state of repair.
That's a great visual.
Eh.
Okay, next is noni. And from what I understand, noni has a very different, almost like aggressive personality compared to a sweet berry.
Oh, definitely. Noni is a traditional Polynesian tonic, and it is notoriously bitter and pungent.
Not a sweet treat.
Not at all. It contains powerful compounds called iridoids. And what's crucial to understand here is that biological resilience isn't built by things that are sweet and easy.
That's profound, actually.
Yeah, when you consume the bitter chemistry of noni, it's almost like a mild beneficial stress test for your cells. It signals your immune terrain to wake up, remain alert, and stay adaptable. It literally teaches your cells how to be resilient under pressure.
I love that concept. Resilience requires a little bit of friction, right?
Exactly.
So the third language is goji.
Right. Goji introduces red-orange plant intelligence. This is deeply rooted in traditional Chinese medicine as a foundational longevity food.
Longevity. Okay, how does it do that?
Well, the key compounds here are specific carotenoids, which act as physical light filters to protect the terrain of your eyes from light stress and long-chain sugars called polysaccharides.
Wait, how do sugars help with longevity? Sugar is usually the enemy.
These aren't sugars you burn for energy, they're structural sugars.
Oh.
Polysaccharides act like chemical keys. They interact with receptors on the surface of your immune cells, essentially handing your immune system an instruction manual.
Like a blueprint.
Right, an instruction manual on how to modulate its response, preventing it from overreacting or underreacting to threats.
Incredible. Okay, the fourth and final language is mangosteen.
Yes, mangosteen introduces the language of the rind. The text heavily emphasizes that it contains xanthone-rich peel powder.
The peel.
The peel. This teaches a crucial lesson in botanical medicine. The sweet, fleshy part of the fruit is just the bait.
Right, to get animals to eat it.
Exactly. The most powerful, protective, antimicrobial chemistry of a plant is almost always synthesized in its tough outer peel. That's the plant's armor against the environment.
Wow.
Consuming those xanthones transfers that robust environmental shield to your own immune and joint terrain.
It's so funny. We always throw away the peels and eat the sugar, missing the actual medicine entirely.
We do.
Now, keeping 4 different liquid botanicals in your fridge and taking them all every single day might be a bit overwhelming for a lot of people.
Definitely.
But the guide provides a practical solution for this, called fusion.
Yes, fusion is the intelligent integration of the system. It combines the acai, noni, goji, and mangosteen into one single daily habit.
That's much easier.
It is. It allows you to consistently expose your internal terrain to all 4 of these highly diverse botanical languages simultaneously.
But here's the ultimate question, though. How does human biology actually read these plant languages? Like, if I drink fusion, do those iridoids and xanthones just float directly into my blood?
That is a great question, and this is perhaps the most elegant biological mechanism in the entire blueprint. We have to look at the microbiome.
The gut bacteria.
Right. These complex superfruit compounds, the deep pigments, the iridoids, the thick polysaccharides, are often too large or too complex for the human small intestine to absorb directly.
Oh, I see.
Instead, they travel down to your gut microbes.
So our gut bacteria are the ones eating the superfruits.
Yes. Your microbiome acts like a biological UN translation headset.
I'm brilliant.
Your gut bugs physically digest and metabolize these complex plant chemicals, breaking them down into entirely new, smaller molecules called postbiotics.
Postbiotics.
Exactly. And these postbiotics are the actual communication signals that travel into your bloodstream. The plants speak a foreign chemical language to your gut bugs, and your gut bugs translate that language into biological instructions that your brain, your immune system, and your joints can perfectly understand.
It is a continuous living dialogue.
It really is.
It really is an ecosystem. Yeah. You are not a machine. You are literally cultivating a microscopic garden inside of yourself.
Perfectly said.
This shift from symptom chasing to terrain building is just profound. But I want to remind you, the listener, that we have only covered the overarching architecture today.
Just the framework.
Right. The whole foundations of Terrain Nutrition Resource dives incredibly deep into the raw phytochemistry, the historical lineages, and the exact clinical applications of these interventions.
It is a remarkable piece of open source scholarship, and it beautifully honors ancient wisdom while being rigorously validated by modern cellular biology.
It really is. If someone invited you to listen to this deep dive, please return to that person for additional resources, proprietary guidance, and group discount codes.
And if you found this deep dive randomly, you can explore targetedneeds.com and wholehealthworldwide.com to connect with this worldwide community.
Additionally, for a free public education pathway to study life, health, wealth, or legacy even deeper, you can visit Live Pure Academy at livepureacademy.com. And of course, the link to the full Foundations of Terrain Nutrition Guide, along with your next step instructions, are waiting for you right now in the show notes.
Before we sign off, I just want to leave you with one final thought to mull over.
Let's hear it.
We began by completely dismantling the idea of the body as a machine. If your body truly is a responsive, living terrain, and your physical health is simply the environment you are continuously cultivating, what is the specific daily climate you are creating inside yourself right now through the quality of your thoughts, the depth of your breath, and the boundaries of your environment?
Are you just painting your dying brown leaves green? Or are you finally ready to water the roots? Until next time, take care of your terrain.
Thanks for listening to Health Freedom Radio with Jessica Steele and Jordan Fisher. We're glad you joined us, and we hope you enjoyed today's show. We'll leave you with this: your future is yours to own, and we're here to run with you every step of the way. Let's build it together. Subscribe, stay connected, and share this with someone who's ready to level up their life.